Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a seriously profound journey. We're diving into a concept so vast, so deeply woven into the fabric of ancient metaphysical sciences, that truly understanding it, it's like unlocking the ultimate hidden mystery of the cosmos. We're talking about the mystery of divine balance, and we're exploring it through the lens of an absolutely awe-inspiring force known as Vāmadeva. The one is not any one thing, because it is all things. Just let that thought settle in for a second. This observation by the eminent Shiva scholar Mark S. G. Dyczkowski perfectly nails the essence of non-dualistic Shiva philosophy. It kind of shatters how we normally see reality, right? The universe isn't just a bunch of random isolated pieces. It's this fundamental organic unity. And to really grasp how this boundless one becomes the diverse universe we actually live in, we have to look at the forces of creation. But even more importantly, the forces of preservation. Section 1. The face of preservation. Let's jump right into it. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of Vāmadeva, we first need to look at how the supreme, formless reality, what's often called Shiva, actually manifests itself into our physical universe. Now take a look at this breakdown of the Panchanana. These are the 5 immense faces of Lord Shiva, emerging right out of the formless absolute to basically govern the cosmos. It's like a giant cosmic puzzle where each piece has a specific job. Every face is tied to a specific direction, a fundamental element, and a unique cosmic role. For instance, Satyajata looks west and handles earth and creation. Agora looks south, wielding the intense transformative power of fire. But if we look north, governing the incredibly fluid element of water, that's where we find Vāmadeva. And his cosmic burden? The absolute, unending task of preservation. You can actually see this concept captured beautifully in physical form right here. What you're observing is the Panchamukha, the 5-faced Shiva lingam. To a practitioner, a brass icon like this is so much more than just art. It's a profound visual map of totality. It reminds us how these 5 massive cosmic forces just seamlessly emerge from the one undivided absolute. And that northern face we were just talking about? That is our beautiful preserver, Vāmadeva. Let's unpack these specific attributes of this manifestation, because they're absolutely crucial. As we mentioned, Vāmadeva faces north. The element here is water, or Jala Tattva, which makes total sense, right? It's the fluid, adaptable, deeply purifying force of life. The cosmic role is called sthiti, meaning the preservation, sustenance, and healing of the entire universe. If you read the ancient agamas, they describe this form as radiating a deep, blood-red complexion, wearing rich apparel, and vibrating with the very potent syllable ma. It's a form of immense power, for sure, but it's characterized by this incredibly soothing, aristocratic grace, which, when you think about it, is exactly the kind of energy you need to maintain the harmony of all creation. Section 2. Decoding the word Vāma. Now, Sanskrit is an incredibly intentional language. It rarely just assigns a name without hiding a really profound metaphysical blueprint right inside it. So let's deconstruct the word Vāmadeva. On a surface level, the root Vāma translates straightforwardly to beautiful or pleasing. But esoterically, in Vedic cosmology, Vāma specifically denotes the left flank. Now, you might be wondering, why does the left side matter so much? Well, traditionally, the left side is the sacred seat of Shakti. That's the primordial creative female energy of the cosmos. So Vāmadeva isn't just some beautiful god. The name is a direct signpost, pointing to the integration of maternal grace, the mother, straight into the supreme consciousness of the father. Section 3. The sacred left flank and Ardhānārīśvara. This little linguistic cipher we just decoded, it actually evolves into one of the most breathtaking mythological embodiments of duality in all of human history. Just behold Ardhānārīśvara, the half-woman lord. It's this flawlessly composite androgynous form split right down the center. The right half is depicted as the male Shiva, and the left half, the Vāma, is his consort, Parvati, or Shakti. This ancient iconography isn't just striking, it's communicating a highly sophisticated truth. It's telling us that absolute masculine consciousness is utterly, inherently incomplete without that dynamic, creative, feminine principle. They literally cannot be separated. Look at the intellectual tension happening here. On the right flank, you have Shiva. This represents asceticism, logic, the male principle, and this sort of inert, passive consciousness. Then, on the left flank, you have Parvati. She represents the material world, intuition, the female principle, and pure dynamic power. And here's the key takeaway. These are absolutely not opposing enemies. They are completely complementary halves of a greater whole. With the active power of the left side, the consciousness on the right just sits there, completely inert. But without the consciousness of the right, the power on the left has no foundation to stand on whatsoever. There's a really beautiful Puranic legend that anchors this whole philosophy. The story in the Shiva Purana goes that the creator god Brahma was facing a huge crisis. His whole process of creation had basically stalled out. He just couldn't bring forth life that would actually multiply. So, out of sheer frustration, he performs this intense penance. And how does Lord Shiva respond? He appears before Brahma in this exact form, Ardhānārīśvara. By manifesting his half-female nature, Shiva provided that essential, dynamic, reproductive energy, the Prakriti, that Brahma desperately needed to kickstart the endless species of the universe. It's a real game-changer of a myth. Section 4. The Supreme Harmony of Kashmir Shaivism. Now, we're going to elevate things into a highly esoteric academic realm. This is where those beautiful Puranic myths translate into rigorous, pure metaphysical science. In Kashmir Shaivism, the absolute reality isn't just some passive, empty void. No way. It is vibrant. It's pulsating. It's defined by two poles of the exact same reality, Prakasa and Vimarsha. Prakasa is the shining, self-luminous light of universal consciousness. That's the Shiva aspect. Vimarsha, on the other hand, is the self-awareness, the spontaneous, creative, cosmic power of that light, the Shakti aspect. Unlike some philosophies that tell you the material world is just a separate illusion, Kashmir Shaivism says, actually, no. Prakasa and Vimarsha are inseparable vibrations of the exact same divine light. And that brings us to this mind-bending concept, samarasya. Samarasya is defined as the perfect harmony and totally inseparable relationship between the transcendent Shiva and the immanent Shakti. They mirror each other perfectly, completely united in the oneness of pure consciousness. Honestly, to truly grasp samarasya is to experience the absolute peak of spiritual bliss. Why? Because it's the realization that all the duality we see every day, that perceived separation between you and the rest of the universe, is ultimately just an illusion. So how does this supreme harmony actually play out in our physical world? Well, it unfolds through the 5 powers of Shakti. The goddess, acting as the dynamic aspect of reality, basically manifests the whole universe through Sit, which is consciousness, Ananda, or bliss, Icha, the power of will, Jnana, the power of knowledge, and finally Kriya, the power of action. Through these 5 immense cosmic energies, every single form in the infinite universe is brought into existence, maintained and preserved, all on behalf of Shiva. This gorgeous folk art really captures that boundless, non-dual dance of cosmic energy perfectly. But this ancient philosophy isn't just about studying the cosmos out there. The macrocosm reflects our own personal microcosm. The whole concept of Vāmadeva, of Ardhānārīśvara, it's teaching us something vital. It shows us that balancing our own internal logic and intuition, our own passivity and dynamism, our own internal Shiva and Shakti, is absolutely essential for our own preservation, our healing, and keeping our mental equilibrium in what is, let's face it, a pretty chaotic world. Which really leaves us staring into the profound depths of one final awe-inspiring question. What actually remains when that illusion of duality finally collapses? When we truly realize that the left and the right, the male and the female, the spiritual and the material, aren't at war with each other, but are perfectly orchestrated halves of one unified, starlight reality. Well, what remains is the supreme truth of the universe. To look to the north, to understand that preserving watery, feminine energy of the left flank, to truly perceive Vāmadeva, is to unlock the ultimate hidden mystery of existence. It's this incredibly profound realization that true balance isn't something we have to desperately struggle to create. It's a divine, eternal reality that we simply need to remember.